Okay, so I'm trying very hard to curb my enthusiasm. We're at day 4 of training camp, and for the 4th day in a row, we're seeing a connection between Daniel Jones and Darren Waller. And it's to the point where now my concerns have switched where, okay, yeah, Darren Waller looks fantastic. Daniel Jones is looking fantastic. You know, it's 4 days in a row. And even though the defense is making plays here and there, Daniel Jones is looking like an even more confident quarterback. He's taking risk. He's throwing to double coverage. He's giving his wide receivers a chance to make plays. He's giving his tight end chances to make plays. And a lot of this is done without any kind of hesitation. So I'm trying very hard to not be excited, but I can already feel how excited I'm getting about this offense. Now, again, the defense is what it is. Pads come on, and pads can't come on fast enough, but the pads be on Tuesday. And then we really get a chance to see exactly, maybe not exactly, but we get a better idea of what this offense is looking like when the trenches are there and we have full-on pads and people are getting closer. So that's where I'm at right now. So hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. Today's video is a recap of day 4 and what a day it was. We got clips galore. We got fantastic comments. Shout out to all the people that were in attendance. That'll be Giants content creators and fans alone. Got a lot of good video and a lot of good clips. A couple plays of the day for both offense and defense. And overall, it seems like it was a beautiful day and a beautiful time to be, you know, at that practice today, because we saw a lot of good things, especially, you know, for the offense. So first off, I want to say the news is that my man Shep is off of the PUP list along with Jamison Crowder. They passed the physical. They are off the PUP list and they were active in practice today. So shout out to Shep, shout out to Jamison Crowder. 2 more wide receivers to add to this mix when the offense is already cooking. So shout out to those guys. Another thing that we saw, John Michael Schmitz running with the ones again. Thank you. And then we also saw Tyree Phillips get left guard snaps with the ones today in practice as well. So shout out to Tyree Phillips. Again, I think that they're really trying to solidify and bring a lot of competition to that offensive line. They want the best man to win the spot. You see the changes in rotations at center. We see it at left guard over the past few days or 4 days. We've seen a lot of rotation. They need to fill out and solidify that spot. We really won't know until the pads are on for sure. And like I said, we'll see that on Tuesday. And we'll also see that in the first practice or the first week against the Detroit Lions. In those joint practices, we'll hear, probably not see a lot, but we'll probably hear a lot about those practices. But yeah, I'm excited for the pads to be on. I can't wait for the pads to be on. So let's just talk about some of the things that we saw today during practice. And I'm going to go down my list. As you know, I got some notes today that were taken down, some notes from things that I read, things that I saw, some video clips that I saw as well. And I want to just say one thing real quick. Trey Hawkins, the later round draft pick, cornerback out of Old Dominion, is showing a lot of people some things. We're seeing him have some really good reps against, you know, the second and third, or the third team wide receivers. You see him get moved up to the second team. He's getting some snaps with the second team. But just in the individual drills where you had the wide receivers versus the cornerbacks or DBs, Trey Hawkins has been making some plays. Now, we already know he had the fantastic RAS score, 6'3", almost 200 pounds, 4.3 speed, that type of guy. Has all the tools that you're looking for, that you want to develop a cornerback into being, you know, one of those star players. He has all that. The athleticism, all that's there. Does he have it between the ears? That's what we're working on. And you have one of the best DB coaches. But what we've seen so far is that Trey Hawkins has been able to make some quality plays in the reps that he's getting, in the chances that he's getting. And I saw a tweet that I responded to, And I said that, you know what, at this point in time, I'm ready to see Trey Hawkins get some reps against the first team wide receivers, just to see how it looks. Because if he's able to do what he's doing now to these first team wide receivers, then have a steal here. You know, we might have struck gold if that's the situation. And I was scrolling through Twitter, and I wanted to highlight a tweet that I saw. I'm gonna put it up now. Where they mentioned that, you know, a while ago, the New York Giants drafted 2 cornerbacks, Will Allen, Will Peterson. And, you know, you had the first round guy struggled a little bit at camp, while the later round guy ended up being, you know, had a fantastic camp. But eventually, both of these guys ended up being starting cornerbacks, you know, for the New York Giants. That's a lot to say. That's a lot of expectations. And the only reason why it becomes relevant is because we're seeing some early on struggles with Deonte Banks. Again, another fantastic ride scorer, a guy that has the skill set that you're looking for, the physical points are made with him as far as height, weight, and speed. But he's struggling. Now, here's the thing, though. His level of competition that he's going against in practice is way higher than what Trey Hawkins is dealing with. So we have to first think about that. Like, you're having Deonte Banks, you know, cover Darren Waller. You know, he's covering Isaiah Hodgins. He's covering Paris Campbell. He's covering all these guys that are going to be starters for the New York Giants, possible starters for the New York Giants. Trey Hawkins is going against guys that are on the roster bubble. That's why I said I would love to see what Trey Hawkins could do against the ones. And I see that a lot of people, or the news is saying that, you know, they're kind of down on Deonte Banks. Did we get the right guy? I will tell you guys to pump your brakes, relax, chill out. That's overboard. That's overboard. That is way over. We already know how hard it is to come from the college ranks to the NFL. To expect this guy to be Sauce Gardner or anytime, that's not who he is. Sauce Gardner is one of one. He's one of one. It's just different. Some people are just that good first year around. You might say the guy in Seattle too, Tariq Woolen. Like, it's certain guys that are like that. Not saying that Deonte Banks can't be that, because I don't know what Tariq Woolen looked like in camp last year for the Seattle Seahawks. I don't have that information. I do have the information for Sauce, and Sauce was as good as advertised, you know, from jump. But even he lost some reps, you know, early on in training camp last year. So pump the brakes on all Deonte Banks criticism. I like to have fun with it as well. But just know that when it comes to supporting Deonte Banks, I'm absolutely 100% behind Deonte Banks. And no matter what, I believe he's going to be the CB2 for the New York Giants this year. Will we have to deal with bumps and bruises? Most likely. But I believe that he has what it takes to be one of those guys. So that's one. I'll leave that there talking about him. Now let's talk about the wide receivers. Again, Shep came back. Jamison Crowder came back. But I've been very, very impressed with Paris Campbell, Darius Slayton, and even Cole Beasley right away. Right. And we already know how I feel about Waller. Waller's not a wide receiver, but he is the number one option, in my opinion, for Daniel Jones right now. But I want to just talk about some of these receivers. So Slayton, Beasley, Campbell. And it's funny, too, because Beasley, fresh into the camp, fresh on the team, and he is making the best out of his reps. He did not participate in Friday's practice. He had the thigh bruise, but he was back here Sunday, and he was doing work. Paris Campbell has shown that he is exactly what the New York Giants have been missing. I saw comments saying that, you know, Paris Campbell is who we thought Tony was going to be. Again, pump the brakes. This is 7-on-7. This is 11-on-11. And even though I'm as excited as I am, I still have to be realistic when I think about these things. Paris Campbell is having a fantastic training camp so far. 4 days in. He's getting open often. He's making the best of his reps. Cole Beasley is getting open often and making the best out of his reps. On the opposite side of the wide receivers, you have guys like Darnay Holmes that are struggling. You have guys like Deonte Banks who's struggling early. And you have guys like Flott that's been, you know, off and on. Good reps, bad reps. Really no consistency on the defensive side. I will say this. I haven't heard Adoree Jackson's name called often, So I'm assuming that means he's doing his job. I haven't seen any notes about Adoree Jackson doing this, that, this, and the third. Now, there have been some spectacular catches, you know, but as far as the drills and things like, I haven't heard anything or anybody really mention or talk about Adoree Jackson outside of the point that he's fielding punts. And again, he should never ever be back there. He should never ever be back there fielding punts. Please do not do that. But yeah, there are some early struggles in the secondary. McKinney as well. I seen McKinney get beat a couple times in training camp. And again, we're talking about 7-on-7, 11-on-11, where you're not in pads, where there's really no pass rush. And even if there is a pass rush, you're not really sacking the quarterback. So he's a lot more comfortable in the pocket and still making plays after the point of being sacked. You know, they allow the plays to continue, and the quarterback is still making plays downfield where most likely would have been a sack and things like that. So we have to take everything with a grain of salt when it comes to what we're seeing right now. Now, on Tuesday, when the pads are on, I think we'll get a more realistic idea of what we're seeing. But even with that being known, you can't help but get excited at what you're seeing with Daniel Jones and his connection, not only with Waller, but the connection with Slayton. Like, Slayton and Waller right now are having a fantastic camp. So now we're looking at all of these wide receivers, whether it's Slayton, whether it's Beasley, Campbell. I haven't heard much about Hodgins, but you know, it's just a lot of good things that are happening for this offense. And I remember in the video that I did probably about a couple months ago now, either a month ago, I said, what am I concerned more about, the offense or the defense? And I chose the defense. And this is because I had certain expectations once we brought Waller on and once we added that speed on the outside, that this offense would look the way that it looks. And again, we're not even running the ball really. You know, this is passing game, and I think the install of this offense is going fantastically well for Kafka and for Dable right now, and they got Wink on the ropes a little bit. But I think once the pads are on, you'll see things even out. All right, so let's talk about the plays of the day. Of course, there was a nice deep shot from Daniel Jones to Darius Slayton in double coverage. Again, we saw it on, I believe it might have been the second or third practice where he did a similar thing, almost an identical pass to our identical route, where Slayton goes down the field, he beats double coverage, Daniel Jones hits him in stride, drops the ball right in the bucket. I think that was the play of the game today for the offense. On the defensive side, and I'll talk more about the safeties. On the defensive side, you have to give the play of the day to Jason Pinnock. And if you wanted to judge between the offense and defense, his defensive play was probably even more spectacular than what Darius Slayton did today. So again, they're working in the red zone. They're trying to end out practice. A lot of people will say the play on that play, Daniel Jones was already sacked, but then he threw up the lob. Here's the thing though, it's who he threw the lob to. Darren Waller has been cooking all practice. It doesn't matter who was on him. He's been killing the safeties, the linebackers, the cornerbacks, anybody that lined up against Darren Waller, he's been getting the best of. I'm assuming the defense is fed up, and Jason Pinnock today decided to take things into his own hands and made one of the best one-handed interceptions that I've seen a New York Giants make, whether it's practice or games or whatever. It was just a fantastic play. Again, Daniel Jones, it almost looked like he was just tossing it up to Darren Waller. It almost looked, at a second time I watched it, that he was trying to just throw it away or just do the lob to give his tight end the best chance to, to get the ball. And it was up there. Like, Darren Waller is 6'6". He threw that ball up there to where you would think that only he can get it. But then Jason Pinnock just picked it out of the air. And like I said, that to me, that's the defense saying, you know what, I'm fed up. Darren Waller's killing us. And we have to do something. And Jason Pinnock was the guy that said, I'm going to be the one to make the play. And I believe that's what ended practice. So, and again, for Jason Pinnock, and talk about these safeties, Jason Pinnock did run a lot with the ones today on defense. So he was next to Xavier McKinney. They did rotate Belton in with the ones a little bit as well. You saw Bobby McCain is in there as well too. A little bit of Nick McLeod splashed in there as well. But again, that spot is wide open next to Xavier McKinney. So the more plays that you can make, like what Jason Pinnock did today, the better chances you got to be in the guy next to McKinney. Now, we already know the favorite, or what we think the favorite is going into training camp, was going to be Dane Belton. This is a guy that we drafted. Again, we picked up Pinnock off waivers. from the Jets. So he's still a young guy that we have the rights to for a few years, and this is a great competition. Bobby McCain, more of a safety slash nickel type corner. I think he makes the team because of the versatility, but as far as who's going to be the starter running out next to Xavier McKinney, Belton Pinnock seems like a pretty good battle right now. Javarius Owens still dealing with the injury. I don't know if he participated today, but he missed 2 practices in a row in the second and third practice. Could he be another guy that fits into the mix of that? Again, with Nick McLeod as well. But that's going to be one of the interesting spots or interesting battles today. Also, I would love to get an update. I haven't got a chance to see a lot of the other content creators' reports that were actually in the building on Darian Beavers. I did see one drill that he was in that we were able to get some footage of. And shout out to all the Giants content creators out there. I know I have clips that I put up. I try to give you guys credit for the clips that I put up either in the description or if I'm able to shout you guys out. But there's so much stuff that I'm able to screen grab. And like I said, I only try to add just a little bit because I don't like to take credit from people or treat it like it's my own content, because again, I'm not in the building. I'm not the one taking these videos. Just for full transparency, I am, grabbing clips off of Twitter that are being shared, and also, to add those to my videos. And I try to keep it short because, again, I'm not claiming that content. But I believe that when I'm making these descriptions, I want to be able to show the people, not just tell them, but show the people what's going on in these practices for those that are tuning in. But altogether, I believe the whole vibe of the practice was fantastic. Happy to see that Shep and Jamison Crowder are off the PUP list. I did see a red jersey, or did hear that a red jersey was mentioned in there. So the red jerseys have come into effect for the people that are unable to participate. That's something that we saw last year where we had, 8, 9 guys with red jerseys out there unable to participate. The red jerseys were like a jinx, and we saw when Shepard last year, when he was able to get out of the red jersey, it felt like freedom to him in that comment that he made. But another strong practice. The Giants will be back on the field tomorrow, and then again be in full pads on Tuesday, and I cannot wait for that full pad day. And of course, I'll be here with those updates again. So I want to thank you guys for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.